Hey Arnie, I thought today I would give you a tour of my computers. Uh, I bought another one. Uh, I was at Costco and, you know, I, but what was my excuse? Well, the thing is, it was only $150 for a big Windows 11 computer. And, I mean, that's cheaper than a Chromebook. Uh, Let me show it to you here. Yeah. Yeah, where are we here? Here, I'll switch it around so I can, yeah. Hold on. Yeah, right. Okay, so, yeah, so there you go. This is my, how do you turn it on? This is my Chromebook, not Chromebook. So this is a new 15-inch Windows 11 computer. I don't even know how to turn the thing on. How do you do it? Hello? Well, whatever. Uh, I'm not sure whether I'll keep it or not, but okay, so that's one computer. All right. This is my main computer. This is my Chromebook, and I got it to replace this, which is currently working, but every once in a while, this is another Chromebook, it will go off and it's like a brick. It just turns off, won't turn on, and then I'll plug it in, and then a couple of days later, it'll suddenly turn on. So we've got three working computers here. All right. Now, actually four working computers. Okay. So this is my other Windows computer. Now I got this from a guy for $200. It's an all-in-one Windows 11 HP computer for $200. I think I got it a couple of years ago. But I don't know. I thought I'd be working at my desk more. So I don't know. I'm thinking of posting this on Craigslist for sale. I'll see. Okay. Then, of course, we got over here another brick. I mean, I really like this computer. It's hard. Well, yeah, I can show you the difference. Hold on a minute. Let me just show you the difference in size. Right? So this is also a Chromebook, but this is my newest Chromebook. But again, this turned into a brick. I don't know whether it's the battery or whatever, but then of course, okay. Last but not least, what have we got here? Oh, we've got. Hold on. Then this isn't exactly a computer, but then also we've got this my Kindle tablet that you can write on, the Kindle Scribe. I open it up, and for that, I think I told you. So this was kind of expensive, $300, but for $300, it wasn't working right. I mean, it kind of works, but they said, "Oh, well, we'll issue a refund. You just keep it." So, but I don't know. I think I'll buy myself tech stuff, you know, just to make myself feel better. And also the things I'm a techie, but I don't know. I'm rethinking the Windows thing. I can use it for. I'll have to check the. Warranty on it. But I think Costco will let me keep it for like 30 days or longer, and I can play with it. But well, you're into the Mac ecosystem. Okay, so I'm in the Chromebook ecosystem, and the Chromebook is like so much easier, so much simpler. So like just trying, if you with a Chromebook, hard to explain, but you pick up a Chromebook, turn it on, and everything's there, because everything's in the cloud, and there's virtually no local storage, and whatever Chromebook you pick up, you log into it, and there's your computer. You know, with this thing, setting up. It's still not set up, and then what they've done is they force you to use Bing. I suppose that Apple forces you to use whatchamacallit, Safari. But but I mean, these people, they really make it difficult to use anything else except the Bing, not Bing, yeah, Bing, or no, I don't even know what the fuck it's called anymore. It used to be called Bing, and now it's called Edge. Yeah, well, whatever the hell it is. You have to use their browser. And then if you want to install another browser, you have to go into something called S mode. I mean, Microsoft gets away with all of this shit because it's basically a monopoly for office work. You got to use Microsoft Office, and all of these, so many productivity programs are Microsoft. Like, you can't really run Adobe on a Chromebook. I don't know what the story is with Mac. They must have Adobe for Mac, but I mean, most people make, software for Microsoft, because it's as they say, a juggernaut, the industry juggernaut. But I think I've mentioned before how late stage capitalism kind of devolves into a version of communism. It's like, in communism, you have no choices, and the choices that you get are shitty. And this is how it's becoming with late stage capitalism. Got to use Microsoft, put up or shut up. Same things with airplanes. You have to use your airplane, and you have to get on a seat that's minuscule, extremely uncomfortable, that legally gives you less room than you could legally give to an animal. Animals on airplanes are required to have more room than people. But blah, 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 blah. So I don't know. Impulse buy. Maybe I will keep it. Maybe not. For $150, I just kind of added up. It's like, that's, maybe 2 hours work with the client. Curly fingers quotes. So what the hey, what else am I going to show you? Some of my new purchases. Yeah, I don't know if I talked to you about my journaling. I've been pretty good this month. So before I turn on that computer, I journal. Some people call it a brain dump. Just, hey, nothing, florid or just. I usually just keep quick notes. Did this, did that, whatever. But what's interesting about this thing is, so I got these things. It looks like a loose leaf binder, but it's not. It's called a disc binder. And with this kind of thing, I can take this and you don't have to click, unclick, or anything like. These things are easily removable, but they're movable. So I don't know. So like in the front, I have a calendar, and I'm thinking of, I may divide this into subjects, and if I do that, I can move the pages around very easily. So I was thinking maybe I'll make a separate thing as a psychic exercise. I always do a gratitude. Try to put gratitudes in mitzvahs, you know. So what is there anything to be grateful for today? And did I do something positive or nice, or did I do something to get cosmic points, you know? So you know, my mitzvah today was I called my sister for her birthday. More about that later. And you know, yesterday I took a walk with my weight vest. So I got some exercise in. That would be in my like plus things. So positive things I do for myself, positive things I do for others, and reasons to be cheerful or grateful. But I think what I might do is I might make the gratitude list completely separate. The other things I could do is I could do like CBT exercise, keep them separate, but it's it's a handy format, easy to move around. Also, hold on a minute. I guess I'm making a major commitment to this format because here's some more. This is like 300 pages to, this will keep me going for a couple of years. Yeah, I've been journaling more lately because, like I said, I'm trying to stay away from media, or at least not do media first thing in the morning, and try to read more. But, I think you have the same problem. It's so hard for me to focus. It really is. Anyway, well, for now, at least I've got a solution to journaling. I thought that I thought this would be a solution, but it's just too much of a pain in the ass. Like as I told you, you can't flip through an online book, an ebook, the way you can with a hardcover book. And I find it annoying. So that's the end of, Kindle for me, it would be useful. The Kindle is useful if you're going on a trip. You can take a whole bunch of books with you. But so far I've done that, but I just find the format so irritating that I normally don't even bother to read, Speaking of reading, I thought thought I'd go over some of my, I don't know about you. I mean, do you read? My problem is I'm always reading several books at once, or I get books. I read them partially. I won't read them cover to cover. But most of my current books are things that you can, aside from the Brothers Karamazov, are things you can like dip into. Currently, where am I? Well, this is a Nagel, Mortal Questions. It's questions about ethics and death, of course, my favorite subject. War and massacre, moral luck, etc. He's famous. You might have read one of his essays. He's famous for the book, not book, but essay. What's it like to be a bat? And it's a seminal, shall we say, seminal study, seminal hypothetical, about consciousness. What is consciousness? What's a bat's consciousness like? What's it like when your world is sonar rather than visual? Kind of interesting. And I think the conclusion, actually, oddly, this is weird. I think oddly the conclusion of that essay kind of dovetails with Kafka's The Metamorphosis. I mean, the Metamorphosis I mean, one interpretation is how really other people to us are kind of like as fathomable as insects. Other for other our consciousness and other people's consciousness are completely foreign. We have a certain surface, interaction. We have a certain surface appearance, certain way of communicating, but in reality, we're kind of like all foreign insects to each other. Yeah. Another one I got was Paradoxes. This was recommended. Moral Paradoxes, yes, crime reduction. The thing about it's how one paradox is how individuals acting rationally do not result in what could I say, a rational gestalt. All right. So I mean, you talk. Okay, we may bitch about. I bitch constantly. Say about Congress. They are like absolute perfect examples of Randians. Objectivist Ayn Rand. The virtue of selfishness. They are acting completely rationally in self-interest, doing whatever I can to keep my job and make money, get reelected and get the money coming in. It is actually completely rational for them to do that. I mean, if you buy into the libertarian philosophy of, do what's good for me, and assume that everybody else is going to do absolutely what's good for them. But you see, in aggregate, what happens is the whole country has gone nuts, because of these people that act allegedly from reason, rational self-interest, in the words of libertarians, and it's total bullshit, But so another one, another book I'm reading, this Sabine Hassenfelder. She's big in on YouTube. She's got a YouTube channel, but in terms of consciousness and cosmology, she's big on the free will, anti-free will. She does not believe we have free will, and more and more people are into that. We do not have free will, and and then how do you deal with that? One of the, for example, how do you deal with criminals if they're not really responsible for their behavior? People talk about how, years ago, actually centuries ago, not that far away, but somebody who was epileptic, for example, was, burned at the stake as a witch. Now we know that their behavior is beyond their control. We also know there's the insanity defense, so is some behavior excused and others not? Some behaviors considered beyond someone's control and others not. And do we just forgive all criminals? Or anyway, it's a big philosophical, ethical, moral debate. My favorite solution is in Denmark. Again, I repeat myself. I'm sorry. I may have told you all these stories before. When I was with Al, I'd have to listen to his stories over and over and over again. The first time you hear him, it's interesting. The 500th time you hear him, it's not. But anyway, this interview with this warden in Denmark, they build their prisons on hilltops, so that the prisoners do not see any bars. They have a free view of the landscape or whatever. But at the bottom of the hill, then there's a fence or whatever, probably with razor wires, electrified, you name it. And the warden said, I have no evidence that I can rehabilitate them or that punishment has any effect on their behavior. The only thing we can do is keep dangerous people away from society. So they kind of like live their life. I guess they can go to school or read or whatever, but they do not. They make their life as pleasant as possible, but they're not going anywhere. Meanwhile, in the U.S., it's like it's a way of social control. A large, disproportionate amount of blacks are, locked up, and the free will thing. Then you get, if you're rich enough, like that guy who murdered 7 people, drunk driving, and he was let off on probation with the what could I say, disease or mental burden of affluenza. He was so rich all his life and so spoiled, he didn't know right from wrong. So we're going to let him go. So I mean, if you're rich enough, you can pay a psychiatrist to invent a disease to get you off the hook. But which leads me to, I think I've mentioned this before, AA. At least Bill Wilson was completely anti-free will. He didn't believe in free will, at least as far as alcoholism was concerned. We're powerless over alcohol, and under all circumstances. And if you read the big book, it's not like, once you drink, you can continue. He has examples of people who had been sober for a while who just get in the idea to have a drink and they're off to the races. But what's ironic about that, the first step, if you're in rehab and you drink or you use, they'll kick you out. So on one hand, they insist that alcohol consumption is not a question of willpower. You have a disease, all right? And you need to be treated for this disease. And we can make money by treating you in disease by bringing you into a rehab. But, and you're powerless over alcohol. This is 12-step rehab. Oh, but if you drink, you get kicked out. Hey, I thought that if I had a disease, like in a hospital, if you have a disease and you get worse, you get more treatment. Oh no. So, I mean, it's clearly this whole 12-step thing is, it copes well with cognitive dissonance. You're powerless over alcohol, but if you drink, it's your fault. I don't know, what can I say? It's, to me, yes, clearly you have some control over drinking or not drinking, but, but we're not there yet as far as other things that, nobody really has free will, because every single thing, every single activity has a cause, and so, I mean, according to, like the religious deal, I think it was St. Thomas Aquinas, so God is in charge of everything. There's a reason for everything. This caused this, caused this, caused this, caused this. God is entirely in control, and your circumstances are all the result of God. Unless you commit a sin, then that's your fault, right? So everything else is beyond your control. It's the universe. God has a plan. Except when you make choices, you have free will. Everything has a cause. does not apply. So, like I said, the philosophers, etc., are at the point where there is no such thing as free will. You can't say everything is caused by something else except your behavior and your choices. But we feel like we have free will, and the society. How is the society going to accommodate the idea that you don't have free will? Shit, I'm almost talking for a half hour, so you can turn this off, but or maybe I should do this in 2 installments. No, I'll just okay, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. Okay, anyway, what else am I reading? Again, here's Philosophy of the Mind, and this has this you can dip into and dip out of too. It's like different theories of mind, and behaviorism, identity theory, functionalism, consciousness, right? So pick this up, read some of it, and put it down, right? It's kind of like channel surfing, but with books. I think I mentioned this before. It's like Plato, not Prozac. I was talking about this too. I actually went to a therapist. I'll tell you about that. And I'm this far in Brothers Karamazov, but man, it's hard going. And I'll tell you, with Russian novels, you just, first of all, the names, Ivan, Vanya, Vitya, Bitcha, Micha, Mucha, it's hard for me to concentrate. Right. Plato, not Prozac. Okay, so I did go to the therapist at Kaiser, and I mean, I really liked her. I really did. I really enjoyed talking to her. And it was like, what do you want to do? All right. Do you want to go on like a CBT track? And okay, so your issues are you're isolated, certainly, you have some negative thinking, you're isolated, you haven't found anything to replace the job, and the usual CBT bullshit. You'd make commitments to yourself. I'm going to do this at this time. Worksheets. Why am I isolated? What's the advantage? What's the disadvantage? Do I want to go on this CBT track to accomplish something? And I said, no, I don't. I don't really want to do that, because as soon as I set up a task for myself, I rebel against it, and I enjoy it. It's like, tomorrow you're going to get up at 7 o'clock, and every day you're going to get up at 7 o'clock. Well, maybe I'll get up at 7 o'clock next day, but then the next day after that, it'll be like, I don't feel like getting up at 7 o'clock, and I'm not. And I particularly enjoy not doing what I've committed myself to. I don't know if you're like that, but I think it's kind of what, ADHD or whatever. But anyway, I didn't want to go that route. Interesting. I talked about how, dealing with, for example, death. I mean, death of, I don't know if cancer is going to cut my life short. I still have it. Mary Margaret, I'm worried about. And how all the friends I used to have are disappeared or dead. Jay Dean, Bruce, all these people in AA I once knew, I no longer know. You, my sister, and Sergio are the only people in my lives. And she said, well, we can talk about it. Just come and, and I said, you know what? I don't want to waste your time. I mean, what I need a companion, and I don't know if I can find one or not, but I'm sure you have other people with more serious problems than I need a companionship. maybe I'll come back, but I'm not going to go on a course of therapy, just to have a paid friendship. I mean, Jay Dean was like that. She was going to the psychiatrist for 20 years, and it was simply paid friendship. You know, she's a nice. I mean, of course, I loved her and whatever, but I often thought to myself, she was like eating through hundreds of thousands of dollars of insurance money per year, while somebody else can't get like a fucking Band-Aid, with our medical system. And so I thought, spending all this insurance money, health insurance money, just to chat, she had, maybe she had like minor neuroticism, she was very happy popping, I don't know what she was on, Paxil, Zoloft, Celexa, whatever. Yeah, wasting kind of like, what can I say, public money, because I don't have the wherewithal to go out and get off my ass and make friends or join a class. So I decided not to do that. What was interesting about it, when I brought up AA, she was kind of in agreement with me. She said, since she wasn't into 12 steps herself, but I was talking to her about, how, while AA initially helped me, I feel much better having thrown off the alcoholic identity. I really no longer think of myself as my name's Joe and I'm an alcoholic. I don't identify with it, in fact, if, talking about cognitive behavioral therapy, labeling is a no-no. You don't label yourself. You look at your behavior, And so, I'm Joe, and there were times when I drank too much. I don't drink anymore. I no longer consider myself an alcoholic than I consider myself a smoker. Hi, I'm one cigarette away from cancer. No. And I found throwing off the alcoholic identity liberating. I can't find the study. It's on my hard disk somewhere, but it was the study was by two social workers called Becoming Alcoholic, and it was about how you go to AA to become an alcoholic. It's not that you go to AA to drink. You go to AA to and you take on this identity. I'm Joe and I'm an alcoholic, and it was about this identity process. The other thing about AA, and again I maybe mentioned this, people like Amy Winehouse. As far as the public knows about Amy Winehouse, and I'm sure, I haven't been to a meeting in decades, but I'm sure this thing is bandied about at meetings. It's like, see that? She didn't want to go to rehab, and now she's dead. And if you pick up a drink, it's the jail, hospital, or the grave. What AAs don't know, or they consciously suppress, is Winehouse did go to rehab. And after going to rehab, she's dead. And my personal opinion is you're inculcated with this powerlessness, and that, so when you drink, if you do drink again or if you use again, unconsciously, this is in the back of your head. I cannot stop. I do not have control. And the result is tragedy. And I really think that before a therapist or a psychiatrist, anybody, sends someone to AA, they should do some kind of personality test to find out whether this disease concept will be helpful for them or literally deadly. So another example of this is Audrey Kishline was founder of a group called Moderation Management. It's still around. And she wound up drunk driving and killing a family. And it was like, see what happens? See? Trying to even moderate your drinking, thinking you can control your drinking in any way. Look what it did. You know, she murdered an entire family. And if only she'd gone to AA. Well, several years before that accident, Audrey Kishline quit moderation management. She said her farewell was, I cannot drink. I cannot moderate my drinking. I have to be completely abstinent, and I'm going to AA. I still think that some people with drinking problems can moderate their drinking, and but I can't. And she was in AA for 2 to 3 years with the abstinent-only philosophy, with the disease philosophy, with I can't control myself philosophy, and she kills people. You know, was that moderation management or was it AA? All right. If she continued in moderation, she might have continued drinking, but she might have thought to herself, I have some kind of control. You know, I better not drink and drive or. Now, the whole thing is maybe she's just absolutely beyond control. But I still think that this idea of planting this seed in some people is deadly. You are powerless. You cannot control your drinking. You have one drink, or the other bullshit is let them hit bottom. What? Let them kill themselves? Let them kill somebody else? There's another group I was interested in. I think it's called Harm Reduction. Actually, it's in New York. It's called Harm Reduction Coalition, and it's like go out and distribute clean needles to junkies. And of course, you get the AA crowd, the NA crowd. You're just enabling, right? So, at the time, HIV, was deadly. It would be a death sentence, and it was like, no, you're not going to distribute needles. Even the law got involved. No, you're distributing drug paraphernalia. You'll be arrested, well, if they get HIV, they'll hit bottom, and then maybe they'll recover. They'll go to their graves, clean. Anyway, enough of that. So my rant for the day. I'm a bit worried. I called my sister yesterday. It was her birthday. I didn't get a response. I called today. I still haven't gotten a response. I think I'm going to have to call my brother and say, can my niece check on her? Something. I'll give it a few more hours, but or maybe try calling her again. But it's a constant worry with me, and I don't think there's anything fucking irrational about it at all. She has been my anchor for all of my life. The first person I came out to, supportive through my drinking, supporting through my sobriety, and she's not going to be here forever. And days like this when I can't reach her, I have every fucking right to be upset. And Zoloft, like a drink, could mask the problem, but I am not. I do not have some kind of disease that I am concerned about losing people in my old age. Right. So I hope you're doing okay. I thought that was a hoot, So Sergio's graduation notice was posted, and then at the bottom of he's going to be exiting. He has to take an exit test with CASAS. It's just a pro forma thing. The CASAS is used. You do it when the person enters the program and one person leaves. And usually a similar test gives them an increased score, and this way they can show funders that their program is effective because on standardized tests, people are improving. Little did I know, I'm sitting there years ago making up these questions that my partner to be would be taking a test with these questions on it. Like I said, Jungian synchronicity, trippy, 6 degrees of separation. It's kind of funny. Okay, well, this has been a long one. This is 40 minutes. It's going to take forever to upload. I know it's rambling. I'm sorry for that. But I haven't been in touch in a couple of days. And it's raining today, or it's going to rain. In the words of Wallace Stevens, I love this line. It was evening all afternoon. It was snowing. It was snowing and it was going to snow. And what always fascinated about that line, it's snowing and it was going to snow. Does that mean that it was snowing and it would continue to snow, or it was snowing, but at the same time it was not snowing, but it will snow? It was snowing and it was going to snow. I just found that something, an interesting like a syntactic twist or an interpretation of that line. But it's going to rain, and actually it was, and it's going to be evening all afternoon because it's going to be dark. It was, it's evening. It was evening all morning when I got up. Right. And so I guess I'm stuck in the house, but woohoo! Now I have an excuse not to exercise. Although I could go to the Y. All right. Okay. Did I tell you? Ask you about your ankle and everything? I mean, how is that going? Are you walking on it now? Is it healed? Are you getting outside? I mean, you better get out as often as possible because where you are, you're heading into the miserable weather. I can't say I'm miserable, but I had to say this. Nighttime, we're 5 o'clock, boom, it's pitch black. I mean, I just hate it, I mean, what do? Go to bed for, 14 hours, you feel like at 5 o'clock, you feel like going to sleep. Bedtime, but you can't. And then it doesn't get bright now until 6:30 in the morning, so that would be like what, 13 and a half hours sleep. Okay, all right, bye-bye.